Why do I always have to burp in front of the camera? Hi everybody, Happy New Year! 2023 is officially here, and are you feeling the energy? I am. I have this feeling in my gut that 2023 is going to belong to us. The artists, yes, we are going to own 2023. Just a few days ago, I was speaking to one of my friends and we were talking about all the work in process projects that we have right now and all our friends. And I had this intuition that for many of us, 2023 is going to bring fruition to those dreams. So it's full steam ahead. Alright, episode 3 of Pay It Forward is officially here, and before we begin, fair warning, there are going to be tears in this video, and that's why I have my mug of water right here. Yes, I have a steel mug. I mean, how else is everybody going to know that I belong to a defense family? And I have tissues. Yes, I like to be prepared for crying emergencies. So go on and hit the like button, subscribe to this channel before any crying happens. Go on, hit it, subscribe. So I am a 90s kid, and I'm sure that all of the 90s kids out there will relate to me when I say that, in our day, yes, back in our day, internet used to be a huge thing. I know it's shocking how millennials and boomers got anything done in their day without the internet, but yeah, I mean, those were the days. So back then, social networking sites used to be like poisonous snakes. We were warned completely off them, like don't share too much, don't give out your personal details, don't send out too many pictures of yourself. They are going to be abused and all that. Of course, it still happens, but back then internet was fairly new and everybody was just kind of afraid of this new entity that was emerging. So forget about just talking to someone online or sharing your number, becoming their friends. I would not even acknowledge the friend request that I would get or messages that I would get. I used to be so scared. Well, fast forward to 2022 and here I am using the internet to talk to all of you guys. I know you're thinking, why is she going on and on about the internet? That's because today's video is going to be about a dear friend of mine whom I met online completely by chance, and she turned out to be one of my staunchest supporters when it came to my gift of writing. The star of today's video is Kajal Kapur. So let's begin by getting to know Kajal a little bit. So Kajal Kapur is one of the co-founders of Penmancy, the writing community that I talked about in episode 1 of Pay It Forward. If you haven't watched that video, I'm going to link it right here. Please go and watch and learn about Penmancy and what a wonderful job they are doing. In her own words, Kajal is a perpetual dreamer, an eternal optimist, and a mind vagabond. She has spent 15 plus years in the corporate industry, and now she is associated with educational industry wherein they work closely with schools and design coursework according to the national education policy. She tells me that after spending 15 years in this corporate world, she found her calling in writing and helping other writers achieve their dreams, and that's how Penmancy was born. If you are a writer, you know that writing is a lonely journey. And this is where Penmancy comes in, where writers come together and they share ideas, talk about creativity, they support each other and read each other's work. Making Penmancy the springboard for new writers and new authors is Kajal's pursuit. As a writer, Kajal loves the romance genre, and I have read some amazingly beautiful romances out of her pen. Her short stories are part of several international and national anthologies. Her articles are part of both online and offline magazines, and right now she is working on her first novel, and I am so excited for her to finish and for it to get published. I am sure it is going to be a bestseller. Kajal also handles an FB page by the name of Movie Massala, where she shares her passion for cinema and TV shows with all her friends. Do check out her page and follow her on Movie Massala. Her reviews are amazing. Now, I met Kajal back in August-September 2020, and I have already talked a lot about how Penmancy has helped me achieve my dreams and helped me along in my journey of writing. But a huge aspect of my growth comes not only from Penmancy but from Kajal herself. Okay, so this is going to sound a lot like a TVS ad, but please forgive me. 90s people, you know what TVS is. I don't know whether Gen Z knows about it or not. Yeah, so पहले मैं बहुत परेशान थी. So pre-pandemic, I used to work in pharma and I had this regular 9 to 5 job. The people around me were all pharma people. Some were scientists, some were working in regulations, quality assurance. It was a very demanding job and there was hardly any room for creativity or to explore my writing or even to explore reading for that matter. I barely went out. Meeting friends was like a one-off occasion. हाँ चले गए, मिल लिया. I barely had any time to do anything else other than my job, which was not basically 9 to 5. It just extended a lot beyond 5 every single day. Another thing that caused this closeted existence of mine was my introverted nature. Not many people will know this. My friends from college will still tease me about it. I never used to be able to speak in public. Forget public, if I would say something, the people in my class will not be able to hear me. I was that introverted. I was people scared, I was camera shy. I never wanted anybody to spot me in a crowd. I was so scared of standing out. And then I found Penmancy and I gelled awesomely with the members because they were my kind of people. They liked writing, they loved reading, and we could talk to each other about all of these things. So then one fine day, Penmancy decided that they are going to start a new segment called as Perspective, and they sent out invites to volunteers who would be willing to take sessions with authors and discuss their stories, so that the members of the group would be able to understand the author's intentions or perspective about a story. So that was the segment. They sent out invites and I still can't to this day tell you why I volunteered, but I did. So before I knew it, I was taking live sessions for Penmancy and talking to authors about their work in front of the camera. I was doing that and I was good at it. So a few weeks passed and then Kajal approaches me and asks me whether I would be interested in becoming community manager for Penmancy. And I was like, me, community manager, wouldn't that involve talking to people on a regular basis? And she's like, yeah, dude, I can't do it. I'm bad at talking to people. And she's like, no, you're good at it. And I know that you will be super awesome at it. And I was like, okay, fine, if you say so. And so I became community manager for Penmancy and I was talking to people every day. A few months after I assumed the role of community manager at Penmancy, Kajal calls me up and she asks me, Monica, will you be willing to consider an editing and proofreading sort of a gig? And I'm sitting there trying to digest what she is telling me. I am 1 year old in the writing world. I am writing fictional short stories and reading and reviewing those stories for other people on an online platform. I have almost zero experience when it comes to editing or proofreading, and this lady is giving me an opportunity for a paid gig. And I tell her, Kajal, I write fiction, I read fiction, I have no idea whatsoever what goes into non-fiction. How the hell am I supposed to be editing and proofreading somebody else's work? How am I supposed to know what goes into non-fiction? And Kajal tells me, I know you can do it. And in fact, I think that you will be great at it. I want to highlight that at that point in time, I did not know Kajal as well as I do now, 2 years later. I only knew that she was one of the co-founders of Penmancy, and she only knew that I was one of the members on Penmancy. I didn't even know whether, how many people were there in her family or what she did for a living. There was nothing that I did or she did that would enable her to have this kind of trust in my skill. But weirdly, she did. I mean, I was at a stage in my life where I did not believe in myself. I did not trust my own decisions, and I had no plans for the future. I was the lowest that I have ever been in my life, and this lady, she comes to me and she tells me that, dude, you are good at it, and I know that you can do it. I was floored. So I applied and I got through the tests and I was in. And turns out I was good at it. I mean, of course, there was a learning curve. Of course, there were initial hiccups. But after that, it was smooth sailing. It was a year-long project which not only provided me with a stable income when I actually needed it the most, but it also turned out to be one of the most significant steps that I have taken towards my writing goal. Throughout this project, I got to learn and practice the nuances of writing and editing and language, and I could see my writing molding itself to be a better version of what it was earlier. It was almost as if I was compiling a guidebook for myself as I was working through the projects that came my way. Things that I had to Google or look up in the dictionary or wherever, they just started coming naturally to me after a while. It was the most fun I have had while working. I reflect back to my pharma days and I remember now how miserable I used to be in pharma. My attitude towards my work then used to be like, I had to do this, I had to do that. But when I was working as an editor and I was working with Kajal, my attitude was, I get to do this. I get to work with words. I get to do this amazing thing that I love. Trust me, there is no better feeling in the world. I mean, it was not all smooth sailing. Of course, in any kind of work, you have deadlines, you have targets that you have to meet. And sometimes, life just comes in the way. Of course, there were times where I almost gave up. There were times where I could not handle the workload that was being pushed to me. But I am glad I stuck to it because it remains forever etched in my memory as one of the best experiences of my life. So 1 year later, the project ended. Of course, all good things have to come to an end, and I was very sad because I enjoyed the experience so much. But the most prominent feeling that I remember having at that point in time was that I wasn't scared anymore. I was sad, of course, but I wasn't afraid to face the paths that still lay ahead of me. I was more confident about my skills and I was more determined to make something of myself in the writing world. I don't think I could have gained that confidence had it not been for Kajal simply thrusting all these responsibilities on my shoulders. She does that. She does this way too often. Soon afterwards, I had to part ways with Penmancy for a little while because my cat Loki was very sick. It was an all hands on deck kind of situation. After a couple of months, I came back. Loki was well again, thankfully. And I asked Kajal, if she needed any help with the management on Penmancy. And a few days later, I was manager of outreach and projects. So I called her up and I told her, Kajal, this is not up my alley. And again, she was like, no, of course it is up your alley. You can do it. And here I am. So I don't know why she won't stop giving me more responsibilities, but I'm happy that it all works out in the end. But seriously though, Kajal came into my life like a blessing and I love her so much. Kajal, I love you so much. Not only for the work that she keeps pushing my way again and again, not only because she provides me with paid opportunities when I am looking for paid opportunities, but also because of her belief in my work. In my life of 33 years, I can count on one hand the number of people who have stood by me and shown belief in my craft. It's like Kajal says, writing is a very lonely journey. And I'm sure it's the same for all artistic fields. We have to walk our own paths. Sometimes if we are lucky, we'll have people who will support us and will stand by us, but mostly we walk alone. It is very rare to meet people who believe in our art more than we do. People who show us again and again and again that it is worth pursuing. People who stand by us, who support us, who show us it is something that can be achieved. It is not just a dream. Kajal is one of those people for me, and I am eternally grateful for whatever force is out there in the universe for putting me across her path. Do you have a person or a community that helped you in a similar way? Do tag them in the comment section below and send out your thanks. Let us never let an opportunity to be grateful for our blessings pass us by. I am going to leave the link to Kajal's social media and all her pages down in the comment section below. Follow her, check her out, check out her Movie Masala reviews, they are amazing. If you like this video and anything that I said has resonated with you, please hit like and subscribe to my channel, and also hit the bell icon so that you know whenever new videos are uploaded. In the next video, I am going to talk about a beautiful lady whose light shines through her work, her art, and her 4 little pets. That's it for today's video. Thank you all for joining me today. See you all next week. Love and light to you. Bye bye.